Good morning, this is Around the House with Kay and Tom. Today I am going to fix some what they call barbecue beef cups. What we're going to use a pound of ground chuck. It's said to use either at least 80% lean. So we've got the 80% lean. I have Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. I imagine you can use any kind you like, but we like the Sweet Baby Ray's. You need some cheddar cheese, some cheddar cheese or whatever cheese. This happened to be a Mexican blend cheese, finely shredded. And we're going to put some onion in it, and we're just going to use canned biscuits. So what we're first going to do is we're going to put the hamburger in the pan and let it be browning. So hold on a second. While I'm getting my hamburger ready, I have cut on my oven to 350 and I'm letting it be preheating. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the hamburger. Probably would help if I turn on the eye. And we're just going to put it in the pan. We're just going to mash it up a little bit. And while this is cooking, I'm going to chop up my onions and get my Baby Ray barbecue sauce, a half a cup of the barbecue sauce, fourth a cup of chopped onions. I'm going to grate my onions simply because I want them to be pretty good and cut up so they'll blend in this. Okay, we'll let that cook. And we'll go back and we'll cut up our onions and fix our barbecue sauce. Okay, I'm going to grate up my onion. And I've got this onion that I have already used part of it. So instead of starting on a new one, I'm just going to use this because we don't really need that much. So this is the what they call the rough side of a grater. So we're just going to should probably be a fourth of a cup. We'll get out this handy dandy scooper thing and we're just going to see how much we have. Well, that's just about as close to a fourth of a cup, I think, as I can get. Let's just make sure, because like I say, I love onions. Yes, there's a fourth of a cup of onions, and we need a half a cup of Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. No need to let all that go. Throw it away. You might as well just get it all in here. There we go. And we're going to need a half a cup, it says. There we go with a half a cup of barbecue sauce. What we're going to do is we're going to let the meat get brown, and when the meat gets brown, we're going to put the onions and the barbecue sauce into the hamburger meat, and we're going to cut it down on low and just let it simmer while we fix the rest of our stuff. Be right back. As you can see, the hamburger is cooking. Sort of break it up a little bit. And after I get to cooking this, I'm going to pour the barbecue sauce and the onions in this and cover it and let it simmer. Okay, I think that's about got it. I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to drain it just a little bit because it sure did have a lot of grease in it, it looked like. And we don't want it real greasy. Okay, then we're just going to, oh yes, it did have a lot of grease in it, so we're going to put it right back in there. Spread it out a little bit. Sort of amazed that it had quite a lot of grease in it. So we're going to cut it down to let it simmer. And we're going to put the onions in it. Like a fourth of shredded onion. If you don't like the onions, I imagine you could use onion salt or something. But I happen to like onions. And we're going to put half a cup of Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on it. Sort of mix it together. Cut your eye down to simmer. Okay. Just want to get all the barbecue flavored in. And if you don't think that's enough barbecue sauce, you can always add more. But we're going to try this. Now this really smells like Tom's cooking here. He always likes anything that when it starts to cook, if it's got a smell to it, he says it's bound to be good. Okay, we're going to put the lid on it and we're just going to let it simmer for a few minutes, and we're going to fix our cups that we're going to put this in. So let's go do that. Okay, I have just finished washing my hands again. So we have got a can of just canned biscuits. Now that's the way I like for them to open, so you don't have to mess with them. And what we're going to do, we're going to take the biscuits and we're going to flatten it out. And it says to grease the pan, so you could either grease it or you could spray it with Pam. Either way. I'm going to just spray mine around with Pam. I got 10 biscuits, so I'm going to do, there we go. And we're going to take the biscuits and we're just going to stretch it out and we're going to put it in the muffin pan. Okay, what I did is I had to get my rolling pin out because I couldn't get the biscuit flattened out enough to go in the to cover up the muffin pan. And I know I use Pam to grease it, but I do believe that if you use something like Crisco or even down to butter, it might not be as slick, because it seems to wants to go back up. So let's see, here's, and you just stretch it over the muffin pan, the muffin hole, and sort of mash it down in there. There we go. And if you can keep it up to the edge just as a little bit, I think it will hold better. You can always go back and pull them up just a little bit when you get them all in there. Well, this one here is already slid right on down. I got it back up. There we go. Whoops, here's one biscuit left. Let me roll that one out. No need not to do them all, since you've got them out of the can. So we'll roll this one out, if we can. I think we can. I know somebody's going to send me a little email or a little blurb, and they're going to say, if you sprinkle flour on your bread, you know it will roll better, and that is true. But I just didn't get it out this time. So we're going to stretch that one over this one. And there's our little, all our little cups. And we're going to bring it back over here to the stove. Well, I'm going to bring it over here. And we're going to put our beef that's been simmering in the barbecue sauce and the onions. And we're going to fill up each one of these little cups. I'm going to sort of stir it together right quick. Trying to get it where you can see me. There we go. We're just going to stir this up just a little bit. And I'm going to put some in each cup. And again, I'm using the copper shell pans where it doesn't stick. Boy, that smells good. So we're going to put a cup full in each one. If you decide to use the big muffin pans, the really big one, I would think you better use the Baby Grand biscuits, because these biscuits here, they're just the small biscuits. Didn't seem to want to stretch quite as far as I thought they would. There we go. I've got 2 more to go, and that looks about what I've got. So we'll put it right in there. I'm going to go ahead and rake out every bit out of the pan that I can. We'll put it in this one, and this one. Then I'm going to take a towel and just sort of wipe around here where I made such a mess. There we go. All right, we've got the cups. We've got the barbecue in the cups. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put them in the oven, and we're going to bake them for 12 minutes. the oven on 350. It had already preheated, so I'm going to set the timer for 12 minutes. And we'll be back, and when that's done in 12 minutes, we'll take it out and sprinkle some cheese on top of it and put it back in there just long enough for the cheese to melt. And then we'll have us some barbecue cups. Be right back. Okay, my stove has just told me that the 12 minutes was up, so we're going to take them out and see what they look like. Oh yes, they look pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the cheese. I did set it back in the refrigerator while they were cooking. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top of each one of these. Seems like I could put that back in the bread a little bit better. So we'll just do a little bit of cheese. That one, it looks like sort of slid down in there before it ever got to cooking, but that's okay. I'm not entering no cooking contest with these, so that everything doesn't have to be perfect. So, then when we get this done, we're going to put it back in the stove. It says for 3 minutes or until cheese is melted. And I don't think it's going to take no 3 minutes for this cheese to melt, because it's already melting right now. But we will put a little bit more on that one. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take it, put it back in the oven, and see how they look once the cheese is melted. I forgot to turn on my light when I was doing that. I hope you could have seen that. But there they are with the cheese on top of them. I'm going to put them in the oven and let the cheese melt. Like I say, it does call for 3 more minutes, but I really don't think it's going to take that long. But I will keep a check on it, and we'll come back in just a minute. This is Around the House with Kay and Tom. I hope you will subscribe to my channel and give me your comments. I'm getting a lot of my ideas from what the comments people are saying. So if you've got anything you'd like for me to try or tell you how I do it, I would be more than happy to. So let's give it just a few more minutes. Okay, I now got them out and put them on a plate. Barbecue beef cups. They really smell good. They look good. And again, this is Kay and Tom Around the House. I hope you subscribe to my channel, and you'll come back to see me again and give me your comments so I can pick something other that you would like to try. Okay, I took one and I cut it in two so you could see inside. It really looks good inside, and it's where you can actually pick it up and not make a mess. And again, Around the House with Kay and Tom. Come back to see us. Subscribe to us, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.